it demonstrates a beautiful model for all of us. The way he asked God to take him. He asked God to take him. And I think that's a wonderful model for all of us.
Yes. That's beautiful.
John 19:30. It is finished. And that's going to be brought to us by our pastor, Kevin Flowers. And after him, you will be hearing Sister Karen Brown's summary of the last 7 sayings.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
Praise the Lord.
Now, I must do my part rather quickly because preachers preach.
Wow.
Amen.
And I have been tasked, and they told me I only get 5 minutes. Somehow that ain't gonna make it up on Sunday. You know we will. But here I have this word here, and it's John, and it says, "Now there was Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar, and put upon it hyssop, and put it to his mouth. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, 'It is finished.' And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost." Many times we look at the word, and when we begin to look at the word, and there is so much in these few words, but yet a lot of meat there. And one of the things that we need to understand is when we talk about being finished, when we're finished a task, it says that we're completed, that it is done. There's no more after this to do. That no one else has to come behind us to do anything further because this task has been done. And here we see Jesus from the cross after living the life and all that people got to see of him and all that he imparted into all the people who ever met him. One thing is for sure is that you could not come into Jesus' presence and walk away the same.
That's right. That's right.
Anytime you walk into his presence, amen, there had to be a difference in your life. If it was no more than just the way that you thought, if it was no more than, amen, for some of them, they saw him and began to hate him more because they wanted to get rid of him. And isn't it funny how we always get rid of what we don't understand?
Right. Jesus. Oh, God, thank you.
But in spite of all of this, he went on and he bared the cross. And he stayed there. Could have came down as they bid him to come down. If you be God, save yourself and us too. And today, you get the same kind of ridicule. I thought you were a Christian. I thought you were a believer. But then there are some things that we must go through in this lifetime. We must go through. And though this was a perfectly orchestrated death, played from scene A to scene C. Amen. But when it was over, when the final curtain fell, and you know the curtain fell.
Amen. Thank you, God.
When the final curtain fell, he was able to say, it's finished.
That's right.
It's finished. It's finished. One thing more, and I'm going to get out your way. As we continue to study this and we begin to ponder on this week and all that Jesus has done, I only charge you that you take one area of your life and look at it and say, I dedicate this to you, God. And I dedicate it to you and say, it's finished. This, I'm completed. This is done. This, I no longer will repeat. No longer will have a part of me. It's finished. And see, and it's easy to do. It's easy to do because when you begin to remember the death and suffering, nail prints in his hands, the beatings all night long. They talk about it so beautifully here tonight, the ridicules, even to the point, I love that, where the tongue got stuck to the roof of the mouth. When you can't even, when you're hydrated to the part, when you're dehydrated to the point that you can't even form words any longer. But yet, it had to be done. And the final report was that he was faithful till death. When he comes again, will he find you faithful? Will he be able to say, it's finished? God bless you.
Help me, Holy Ghost. This was not what I was expecting. Summary of everything, because I ended up getting the last saying, which was it was finished. But I got a text message that changed all of that. And my thing to Mother was, I'm nervous because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'm not even prepared to speak because I had no idea that I was summarizing up what everybody else said. So bear with me because I'm just going to give what God said give. That's all I can give you. I want to start with Sister Michelle. Father, forgive them for they do not know what they do. And Michelle put here, her words was, forgiveness is giving up my right not to hurt you. Jesus gave up his right. He forgave us. He forgave us, even in his hurt. I want to break it down a little bit from the Passion of the Christ, because that's what we watched last night. And I don't know if you saw that movie, but that movie was so intense. And this is so fitting what she said, because he had to forgive those who spit on him, who scorned him, going from Pilate to Herod and going back again. And the
Pharisees and Sadducees and how they just crucify him, kill him. This man was innocent. He did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But they said kill him. They'd rather take a thief than to let another innocent man go. And that was Jesus. She said, forgiveness is giving up my rights not to hurt you. Jesus could never hurt us. He would never hurt us. And her thing, Michelle's statement was to let it go. Let go your pain tonight. Let go your hurt tonight. Leave it at the cross. Leave it at the cross. Leave it at the cross. Brother Tracy, truly I say to you today, you will be with me in paradise. Thief on the right and the one on the left. The one on the left was, if you be Jesus, you be the Son of God, you get down from here. You get us out of this. And the other one on the right said, are you crazy? We're getting just cause for what we did. We did this. And he turned and he looked at Jesus. He said, remember me in your kingdom, God. And at that moment, Jesus tells him, today you will be with me in paradise. There was he forgave him on the cross. At that very present moment. He asked for forgiveness and he received forgiveness. That was the first example of forgiveness. Right there. And the funny thing about this, there were so many other people around listening to what was going on. But yet, he recognized that that was the Son of the living God. The Son of the living God. And he made it in. He made it in. He made it in. Brother Tracy was, recognize the truth. And the truth will set you free. He recognized the truth. And the truth set him free. Have you recognized the truth tonight? It's just that easy. Lord, forgive me. I've sinned. I've fallen short of your glory. I need you, God. Jesus did all of this just for you to say, I'm here. Give it to him tonight. Don't leave. Leave it at the cross. Leave it at the cross. Woman, behold your son. Behold your mother. Mother gave an awesome illustration. I'm going to take it from the point of, we already know Sister Sharon's with her watching CJ at the point of death, but her illustration with Mary watching her son. She prayed, she cried, she cried, she prayed, but yet she still couldn't help her son. She still couldn't help him. Why? Because now he has to relinquish that part of himself and that bond as mother and son, and now he has to become her God. There is not the attachment of mother and son. Now I have to become your God. Not just your God, but your Savior. I now become your Savior. So now I have to give you to John. John, here is your mother. Mother, and he didn't even call her mother, he called her woman. Here is your son. So now I don't have no attachment now to you as being mother. You are now a woman. Like you, me, and everybody else. You need me as your Savior. I know you watching me die as your son, but you gotta watch me die as your Savior. And she did that. Bless her heart, she did that. Mother was so deep with this cut. I watched my own child on that cross. But she did it. And if you seen the movie, she was wiping up blood. At that point, she was at his feet. She was kissing his feet, and as she kissed his feet, her mouth was full of blood. Full of blood. But that was her Savior. That was her Savior. My God, why have you forsaken me? Sister Noreen, the definition of abandonment. There was no angel, no friend, no one who could help him. Jesus feeling the moment disconnected from his Father. Completely disconnected from his Father. She put it so beautifully. I don't know, do we really understand the relationship between Jesus and his Father? Everything he did, he went to the Father. Everything he did, don't look at me. What I do is because of my Father.
That's right. That's right.
What you see me do, I've learned from my Father. How I love, I learn from my Father.
Yes.
How I give from my Father.
Yes.
What I do of my Father.
Yes.
So now he feels disconnected. Not that he feels, but he is totally disconnected from the source that he gets the very life from. He's disconnected. Tonight, do not be disconnected from the love of God. Whatever it is, leave it at the cross.
That's right. That's right.
Leave it at the cross.
That's right.
Leave it at the cross. 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 I need the paper. Leave it at the cross. Paper. Leave it at the cross. I can't write anymore. Leave it at the cross. Leave it at the cross. The last two was I thirst. I thirst. He had some other saying he had to say, his last 7 sayings, but yet his tongue is stuck to the roof of his mouth. His mouth is swollen because he's so badly beaten. The Bible said he didn't even represent a person. He didn't even look like a person. He was like a piece of mangled meat. He didn't even have clothes on because as you remember, they cast lots for his clothing. He had no clothes on. So he was physically shamed. He bore shame on that cross for us. But yet, through the disconnection of his limbs, from the openings of his back where you could see his extremities, his liver, his kidneys, whatever it was, you could see it, it was there, and I believe some of it might have been left where it was. Because the instrument that they beat him with was a leather strap with long pieces of leather with bones and metal and sharp pieces of bone. So when they hit him and when they threw their hands, because the Romans were very skillful masters on how to torture you. Thank you, teacher, and thank you, pastor. You had one on your right and you had one on your left. So when one hit you this way and pulled, you had the other one hit you and pull in too. And how many times did he go through that? We know by his stripes we are healed. 39. Yet if you watch the movie, he still gets up. And we know he got up. But yet, he just asked for some water. I thirst. The physical sense, I thirst. Are you thirsty tonight? Do you need of a drink? Do you need a drink? And if there's something stopping you from getting the drink, leave it at the cross. You know what it is that's going to stop you from